Welcome back to the Andrew and Ian Show. I'm Andrew Surwick here again with Ian. Hi, Ian. What's going on, man? We got not a whole lot to talk about today, but we're just gonna go over every games. But yeah, how you doing this evening, man?
I'm doing pretty good. It's a more calm day across the league. I mean, outside of the MLB where we got both D or CS series going, but not too much.
Yeah, it's pretty boring day, I guess, in the news world. Although I've seen some at least rumors that the Lions are looking to make some moves here. But let's get right into it. We got the Saints hosting the Broncos right now. It's about 40 seconds left in the first half. Broncos are up 13-3. Um, the Broncos, I believe, came into this game favored. Let me see here. Yeah, they came in here 2.5 point favorites. Um, I'm taking the Broncos to win and definitely cover that. And that's just based on the fact that when I looked at this game, I looked at the spread originally. I was like, that's weird, because last I looked, there's like basically no starters for the Saints in terms of offensive weapons. Shaheed's out. Derek Carr's out, obviously. Um, Olave's out. I mean, like, if you just looked at the Saints injury report for this week, it looked like a fucking grocery list. That's how fucking long this thing was. And look, the Broncos aren't the greatest team this year, but they're good enough, and they're playing basically the Saints practice squad. So, yeah, give me the Broncos to win and cover.
Yeah, I'm with you. That originally, looking at this game before looking at the rosters and injury reports, I was like, yeah, I probably would have taken the Saints in this one, but yeah, they're pretty much playing their second string. Everyone who's not named Alvin Kamara right now on that offensive side, it's really beat up. And I mean, the Broncos, they're not the greatest team on offense, but they've been really finding a rhythm recently. And Bo Nix has been looking really well since, or not, really well, but at least serviceable since, the first few weeks. And he's a rookie quarterback, so, he's going to have his ups and downs. But I would have taken Denver to win this one. I don't know about covering, but it's a 2 point spread. So, I mean, I'm pretty comfortable that they could cover in this one, especially given that Spencer Rattler did not play the best in it last week, but Denver, like I said, is not the greatest team, but I could see them winning this one.
Yeah, it's just for me. It's just the fact that the Saints are so beat up. I mean, you got Amon Ra's brother activated to the starting roster tonight, so that should tell you everything you need to know about where the Saints are in terms of injuries and not having wide receivers available tonight. Anyways, moving on to Sunday, we got another London game with Jacksonville, because that is just for some reason the NFL's team to put in London for some fuck off reason. They're the home team to the Patriots. Jacksonville comes into this game as a 6 point favorite, and I both these teams we know are ass, right? Drake May, obviously, he'll be playing again for New England. He looked all right in terms of his first start of the year. And I mean, statistically, he had the best rookie start out of all three, or out of all four now rookie QBs this year. So, um, but that's just statistically. He did throw multiple picks, although a couple of them were not really his fault. But um, the Patriots are ass. They are straight up booty juice. And so are the Jaguars, but the Jaguars at least have some sort of a bit of talent, I guess you could say, over the Patriots. Not a whole lot. So give me the Jags to win this one. I don't think they'll cover, though. I think this is going to be a pretty close game. That's also very low scoring. So yeah, that's all I got for that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of the London games, especially when they feature Jacksonville, but I'm going to roll with Jacksonville. I don't think they cover because I don't have faith in Jacksonville's offense to score 6 points over anyone in any game, pretty much, if it's not Carolina. But Jacksonville does have the edge. They've been in London now for however long. Patriots do have to travel. I mean, the Patriots team is not good at all, and it's the worst we've seen them in a while. And, I mean, it's going to be probably a toilet bowl game, and Jacksonville's going to squeak away with the win.
Yeah, it'll definitely be the toilet bowl of the week. I can almost guarantee you that. This game should be Sunday Night Football, but instead we get Steelers Jets for that. So, anyways, this should be Sunday Night Football. We got the Vikings hosting the Lions. This is probably going to be game of the year right here, if not when the Lions host the Vikings. But, anyways, Minnesota, a 1.5 point favorite in this game. Obviously, Minnesota's just coming off the bye. Detroit had a bye week 2 weeks ago. Just whooped Dallas's ass in Dallas. Only problem is Aiden Hutchinson's out. This line moved 3 whole points after that injury. If you looked at the spread on Saturday or even Sunday right before the game, it was Lions -1.5. Now it's Vikings -1.5. So it moved a whole 3 points over because of Aiden Hutchinson. That is how important he is to that Lions defense. And they obviously don't have a replacement for him just yet. The Lions offense is going to have to do a lot of work this week. And I think that they're going to have to basically score on every drive to at least keep themselves in this game, because the defense, I think, is going to suffer without Aiden. I am going to take the Lions to win this game. I think they have the better offense in whole. And, you know, the secondary group for the Lions, they're going to have to step up, especially now without Aiden there to put pressure on a quarterback. They're going to have to really, really step up and be in really, really good coverage. But I think they can handle that. The secondary has gotten better. We know Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph are ball hawks. So, yeah, give me the Lions to win this game.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm iffy on this one. As a Lions fan, I want to see them win this game, especially because Minnesota's 5-0. It's a divisional opponent. That'll give you one of the 2 games you need for a tiebreaker. And, you just gave it a divisional opponent, their first loss. But the loss of Aiden Hutchinson on the defense is going to be the biggest test here for them. Can they stop the ball? And granted, Aaron Jones might be out for this game for the Vikings. We still don't know. He was limited in practice today. And as far as I know, as far as I've been reading, he's trending towards not playing. But it's potential that he does. Even still, the Lions' run defense is pretty good across the board. And if they don't play Aaron Jones, we all know what Ty Chandler didn't do, last week. And we saw Sam Darnold come back to earth not last week, but the week prior, rather. And we also saw Sam Darnold come back to earth as well. This Lions defense, they really brought it to Dallas, even after Aiden went out.
Well, to be fair, when Aiden went out, they were already up by 30 anyways when Aiden went out. So I don't think that really matters at that point. They gave up at before even Aiden went out. They gave up at that point.
They still didn't give up a touchdown at that point, or barely any points though. So this is the best Lions defensive effort we've seen. Period. And
yes, but again, Dallas gave up after Aiden was out anyways, so it really didn't matter what the defense looked like.
The lack of presence from Aiden to, fuel them for these coming games. They want to win for him. So I'm going to take the Lions to win this one. And I think this is going to be the game where we finally see the Vikings for who they truly are. They're a good team. They're not a playoff caliber. They're not a, Super Bowl winning team.
No, I think Minnesota will finally turn into the pumpkin that they are. If this was a Sunday night game, they definitely would. Anyways, the Bills host the Titans. The Bills are a 9-point favorite in this game. Look, the Bills, I'm not too high on them. They've struggled a little bit, but they did just get Amari Cooper. And look, the Bills are far more talented than the Titans, obviously. I think the Bills win. They probably will cover this 9. I mean, that's a big spread in the NFL, but the Titans are just so ass, man. But I think the Bills can cover. It's just a matter of if they actually do happen to do that, because we've seen them lay eggs this year already, against some not great opponents. But yeah, this should be an easy win and cover for Buffalo. But just something about this game feels like Tennessee might be able to cover, and Buffalo won't win by 9 there. But I think Buffalo can definitely do it.
Yeah, I mean, first game we're seeing Josh Allen throw to Amari Cooper, right? It's going to be interesting, new player, new offense, but it's an upgrade for Buffalo at the end of the day that they desperately needed to help Josh Allen. So I think they are going to win this game because the Titans are just not good, and I'm more watching the Titans to see what meme Will Levis is going to bring us next, rather than to see if they're going to win week by week. But at this point, the Bills are looking like they want to compete for the AFC, and now with Devontae Adams going to the Jets, they wanted to keep pace with an AFC rival, so they did the same. They got a new weapon for their quarterback, and here they are. Now they're going to test it against one of the worst teams in the league, but what better way to break them in than, trial by fire against one of the worst teams in the league?
Yeah, break him in with the school for the blind. That's basically what it is.
It might as well be, yeah.
The Packers host the Texans. The Packers a 2.5-point favorite in this one. Look, I like the Packers. They are a pretty solid team. Jordan Love is back to being himself. The Texans, they've been good this year, but I think they got exposed against Minnesota, and now they're without Cam Akers. Not that it really matters for them all too much, but the Texans are in a good spot. I think they're still going to win their division easily because the Colts suck, and the Titans and the Jaguars are fighting for last place. And yeah, so the way I look at this game is I think Green Bay is going to kind of look at the blueprint that Minnesota laid out for stopping the Texans on both offense and defense, and they're going to use that thoroughly. I think the Texans might have a lot more talent, but I think the Packers are they just play much better together. So I think the Packers will win. I think they cover that 2.5 pretty easily. But I think this is going to be a fairly close game within a score no matter what.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm thinking this is going to be a really close game. It's in Lambeau, and we're starting to get to the point where the weather's starting to get colder. Right now, it looks like the weather forecast is, a below 60-degree game, and if you're the Texans, it's a little iffy. You're starting to get into the territory where you're a little uncomfortable. And granted, 60 degrees, it's not that bad. It gets much worse in Green Bay and up in the north in general. But we're starting to get to that point, and if we get rain or something like that, or wind to influence, it's an open field over there in Lambeau. So if weather starts to play in this game, you can see Jordan Love and C.J. Stroud being pulled out of this game. Not, physically, but, by the elements, and they're trusting Josh Jacobs and Joe Mixon now instead. And if that's the case, I think I'm going to trust Green Bay a little more because this is their home field. This is their home element. And as much as, I haven't really trusted Josh Jacobs to really get it done on the ground. He's only gotten one touchdown on the ground to date.
Believe it or not.
But it's I'm going to take the Packers to win this one, but I don't think they cover. I think they win by 1.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a close game no matter what. But yeah, the Lambeau's such a tough environment to play in, too, for any opposing team. So yeah, I think the Packers just have a slight edge in this game, and I think Vegas kind of agrees. The Giants host the Eagles. Philly, a 3-point favorite in this one. The Eagles are playing like doo-doo. And you only beat the Browns, the dog shit Browns, by 4 points at home. by the way, that's not a good look. They don't look functional on either side of the ball. Um, and I think Sirianni's on the hot seat this year. I really really do, because that roster has a lot of talent on it. It's just not gelled together, and it's already week 6, and you haven't gelled at all with your team. So that is a big big problem. The Giants, obviously, we know they suck everywhere, both on offense and defense. But the Giants have surprised me a few times already this year. I think with the Eagles struggling here, the Giants might take advantage. So give me the G-men to win this game.
Wow, it's a little shocking. I understand the Eagles have not been playing well, and obviously Vegas agrees as well, considering Philly's only a 3-point favorite in this game. I would I would assume Philly would be at least more than 3-point favorites, just in general. But this is Saquon Barkley's revenge game. I think he's gonna have, and it's in New Jersey, no less. So I'm looking for him to finally have that good game, that really, really, really big game. Because I mean, again, he's like Josh Jacobs. I mean, he scored 4 touchdowns on the year. You're Saquon Barkley. You want to score more than 4 rushing touchdowns through 5 games this year. Granted, he's almost at one per game, but with the games that they've been playing and how close most of these games have been, I mean, you look at their schedule right now. Only one game hasn't been within one score, and that was the loss to the Bucks, where they lost 33-16. So they're playing very close games, and at some point you're going to need to, score points. And I'm looking at Saquon to have a really good game on the ground. So I'm going to take Philly, but they don't cover.
The Falcons host the Seahawks. Falcons a 3-point favorite in this one, and that number's kind of surprising to me, considering how good the Falcons are and how bad the Seahawks have been since they lost to the Lions. I mean, they lost to the Giants, and they lost this last week as well. I mean, they're on a 3-game losing streak after starting the season 3-0. The Falcons are one of the best offenses so far. I mean, they've put up 500 plus yards in their last 2 games. Kirk Cousins is rolling. He is back to himself. Just wait until he gets put onto a primetime game or in the playoffs, and then he'll disappear and turn into a pumpkin. But I think the Falcons much much better team here than Seattle overall. The injury report for Atlanta on the defensive side of the ball is kind of iffy. They're missing 2 of their safeties, so that is a big problem for them. But I think the offense can just tear up the Seattle defense. The Seattle defense is not good at all. And Geno's always good for a pick or two. So give me the Falcons to win, and they easily cover that 3 points.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that 3-point spread towards Atlanta is a little disrespectful towards them. I mean, they hung in there with the Chiefs, and they almost beat the Chiefs. And we saw what
They
the Lions
should have
did
beat
to
the
the
Chiefs,
Seahawks.
but ref ball had to ruin it.
Yeah, but yeah, we saw what the Lions did to the Seahawks. This Falcons team is another very good offense, right up there with the Lions in terms of, how good they are and just how much talent they have and how efficient they can be. And I can see the Falcons running away with this one, no problem. I mean, the Seahawks have not looked right at all. They were getting blown out last week at the half, only to come back and eventually lose the game still by double digits to the Niners. Now, granted, like I said, the Niners did get Debo involved. They still lost by, 12 points. It's pretty significant. And when you're losing a divisional game like that, in a game where you could start to really break open the divisional lead against a very good 49ers team that is underperforming as of late, now you really have to start playing the game of, you got to win week by week and hope they don't win until you play them again. And it's only week 6 in the season, week 7. So if you're Seattle, this is a must-win game, but I don't see them winning, and I see the Falcons more than covering.
The Browns host the Bengals. The Bengals a 5.5 point favorite in this one, and you know how I feel about that number 5 spread and it being the Devil's number. But so far, it's actually hit pretty well this year. But Bengals on the road, laying 5 against a division rival. I, it's I don't even know where to go with this game. Honestly, we know how bad the Browns are, and the Bengals are bad too. But they're showing signs of life. But it's just such a weird number, especially on the road against a division rival. I don't know if I can trust the Bengals, but give me the Bengals to win. They're not going to cover, though. I have a bad feeling that the Browns are going to win this game, but I just cannot convince myself to ever pick the Browns this year. That's how bad they are. But yeah, give me the Bengals to win, just not cover.
Yeah, see, I was kind of looking at that 5.5 and was like, it's a little steep. I don't think Cincinnati's capable of covering that 5.5 in this game, even though it is against the Browns. I mean, they've just looked off pretty much all year, except against Baltimore. And I mean, you went right back to where you were, only scoring 17 points against the Giants of all teams. So this is, an in-state rivalry game, and as a Michigander, in my eyes, it's a toilet bowl game. So I want to see it end in a tie, but I think the Bengals are going to win, but they're not going to cover.
It would be our luck that we're talking about this game, and it doesn't end in a fucking tie. But I just don't like that 5.5 on the road against a divisional opponent, man. I don't like that number at all. That's why I want to take the Browns, but I just on principle I can't take the Browns. Not until Deshaun Watson's benched.
Yeah, and they just got rid of Amari Cooper. So.
Right, and that's the other thing too. It opened the line opened at 5, and after the trade it moved to 5.5. So I mean, it doesn't really. That's how much of a needle mover Amari Cooper is. Just a half-point swing compared to Aiden Hutchinson's 3. Anyways, the Colts host the Dolphins. The Colts a 3-point favorite in this game. Look, the Dolphins still without Tua. They cannot generate any offense at all. And the Colts, Richardson should be back this week. He was practicing. He was in full practice this week, so I believe they did say he will be playing this week. But they're still, I believe, without Jonathan Taylor. Let me just double check that. Jonathan Taylor is questionable. Either way, if Jonathan Taylor plays or not, I still think the Colts win. Both these teams are banged up, but the Dolphins got their backup QB in. And even if the Colts had their backup QB in, Joe Flacco's still a hell of a lot better than whatever the fuck they're wheeling out there in Miami. So give me the Colts to win. Give me the Colts to cover that 3 as well. I think they'll win this by at least a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm with you. I have much more confidence in Joe Flacco and the Colts to get this done than I do having confidence in whatever the hell Miami has. Now, granted, Tyreek Hill is still probably playing for the Dolphins, but I believe Devin Achane is out. I believe Raheem Mostert is still banged up. So their offense, and Tua obviously is out, so they're obviously very much banged up on the offense, and they cannot get anything going, even with Tyreek Hill. So I just don't have any confidence in Miami being able to score any points, really, even against a really mid Colts team. And even if Indy does not have Jonathan Taylor, I'm still confident that Joe Flacco can get it done in the air and win this game for the Colts.
Well, Richardson's playing for he'll be starting this week.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's confirmed starting?
Yes.
Yikes. I don't know. This might be
that's what
it could end in a tie at this point.
That's the monkey wrench, right? Is like, because like Richardson can be good, he's just also fucking stupid with the ball half the time.
Yeah, if Joe Flacco was starting, I'd take the Colts in a heartbeat, but I think I'm going to take a hesitant Colts, but they won't cover.
I mean, I think 3 points with a Miami team that can't score, that should be easy to cover, in my mind anyways. The Commanders host the Panthers. The Commanders a 8-point favorite in this game. Look, the Commanders are really good. They hung in there with Baltimore last week, ultimately losing only by 7. And Baltimore we know is a very very tough place to play in. The Panthers suck. They're better with Andy Dalton, but they still suck. They just have no defense. And while the offense is better with Andy Dalton in instead of Bryce Young, they're still not competitive enough. And yeah, look, the Commanders' defense, there was a lot of question marks coming into the year. They've answered a lot of those. They've held some pretty good offenses to, under 40 points, and nobody was really expecting them to do that this year. And so yeah, give me the Commanders to win here. Give me them to cover that 8 points. Should be pretty easy. I think at least a 2-touchdown win for them.
Yeah, I'm with you. This Washington team has really surprised me as of late this season. Right now their two losses are to two, as of right now, looking like playoff teams in the Bucks and the Ravens. And week one against the Bucks, they lost by 17. But playing at Baltimore and only losing by 7 to a very good offense in Baltimore and a very, very good defense there too. I'm very confident that they can beat one of the worst teams in the league in the Panthers. Because, I mean, we saw what Caleb Williams and the Bears just did. So I'm very confident that Jaden Daniels, who I think is a better rookie quarterback right now than Caleb Williams, can find a way to win and cover easily that spread.
Yeah, I 100% agree. The Rams host the Raiders. The Rams, a 7-point favorite in this game. And, you wouldn't think so, but then you think about it. Devontae Adams isn't there anymore on the offense. So despite the Rams being beat up as shit, they're pretty fucking favored still. But look, Aiden O'Connell's garbage, and he now doesn't have his only true weapon out there to receive balls. The offensive line sucks. Their defense is pretty miserable. But the Rams, they are beat up as fuck. I mean, they're still missing Nakua. They're still missing their two best tackles. It is a very beat up Rams team. I think, the second string offensive line for the Rams has been doing a pretty decent enough job of not letting Matthew Stafford at least get his head taken off. I think the Rams can win this game. It's going to be close. I don't think the Rams are going to cover that spread no matter what. But I'm going to take the Rams. I'm very hesitant too. But I just think without Devontae Adams now for the Raiders, the offense literally will not be able to do anything. So give me the Rams to win. They just will not cover that 7.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to take the Rams to win. I don't think they cover that 7 either because, like you said, this Rams team is very beat up. And I don't know if Cooper Kupp is playing this game. I know for a fact that Puka Nakua is still not going to be playing this game. But if Cooper Kupp is in this game, that's a trustworthy target for Matthew Stafford coming back, and that would definitely help their offense. But as of right now, it looks like, yeah, Kupp was limited in practice today. So
Yeah, he's listed as questionable. So, and the way I look at the injury reports, if you're questionable, you're playing.
I mean, there is potential for Cooper Kupp to come back for this game, which would definitely help the offense. But I mean, it's a pretty hefty cover for the Rams, and I don't think that even with Cooper Kupp that they could do it because I mean, the Raiders' offense. I mean, no, with Cooper Kupp they could cover that 7 pretty easily, I would say. But
I mean, yeah, that motherfucker's always wide open. Like, I don't get it. He's just always open.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Rams, but they don't cover. But if Cooper Kupp plays, they do cover.
The Niners host the Chiefs. We got a nice Super Bowl rematch here. The Niners, a 2-point favorite in this game, surprisingly. And I kind of get it, because one, it is in San Francisco, and I think that's kind of why it is. But we know the Chiefs are not nearly as good as their record is. They're obviously one of the 2 undefeated teams left in the league, but they could very easily be 0-5 this year. That is how bad the Chiefs have been this year. Realistically, I mean, Mahomes is he's 6-6 touchdown to interceptions this year. He's just not been efficient with the ball at all. His completion percentage is down this year as well. So, yeah, it's just not looking good for the Chiefs. I think the Niners, they're still banged up. Christian McCaffrey might not even play the rest of the year. That's how banged up he is, obviously, with the double tendonitis in both his ankles. But I think the Niners will win this game. I think they cover that 2 points because it's only 2 points. I think the Chiefs are finally going to get exposed a little bit this week. Now, the Niners aren't the greatest team this year. They've allowed a lot of bad touchdowns this year, and they've lost games that they should have won. And to be honest, they've won a couple games that they should have lost too. But so it kind of balances out with that 3-3 record, anyways. But I like the Niners in this spot. I think the Chiefs are frauds. So yeah, give me the Niners to win. They cover that too, but only barely.
Yeah, I'm with you. I want to see the Niners win this game. I do think they will cover that 2 points just because, like you said, Patrick Mahomes, like, he is a very good quarterback, but he has not been on it with the ball security at all. The 6 interceptions is very, very out of character for him, especially, only 5 games into the season. So it's a little unsettling, but, when you understand, he's missing Rasheed Rice, it's understandable. But you still have Travis Kelce. You still have the deep threat capability with Xavier Worthy. I understand Isaiah Pacheco was also out at running back, but you are one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and you're having a rough time, not turning the ball over. You're going to have a rough time, beating this 49ers team. And I think the 49ers defense can get a turnover or two off of him through the air as well as getting a fumble or two on the ground. So I'm going to take the 49ers to win and cover.
Yeah, and I think also part of it too is the Chiefs are missing one of their best weapons, and yeah, the Niners can definitely get a pick off Mahomes because Mahomes has thrown more picks than games he's played this year. He's the fact that Andy Dalton has less picks and more touchdowns than Mahomes is questionable. Anyways, the Steelers Sunday night host the Jets. This is a terrible game. No one wants to watch this on Sunday night. Can we just swap the Lions and Vikings games to Sunday night, please? Like, please put something watchable on Sunday night. The Jets are actually a 2-point favorite in this game, and before the Devontae Adams trade, the Steelers were actually favored in this game by, I believe, 1. It might have been 2. I can't remember exactly, but it's completely swung in favor of the Jets now. The Jets have no run game. The Steelers have one of, if not the best run defenses in the league still. And honestly, their secondary is pretty damn good too. I think it's going to take a little bit for Devontae to get acclimated to this Jets offense. So I'm going to take the Steelers to get the upset win here over the Jets. Plus, it's also in Pittsburgh, so I think that will at least play somewhat of an advantage to the Steelers. And maybe A-Rod's cooked. I don't know. I just have a good feeling about the Steelers in this game. So, yeah, give me the Steelers to win.
Yeah, as of right now, it looks like the line opened at 1.5 points in favor of Pittsburgh, but now obviously it's a 2-point spread in favor of the Jets after the Devontae Adams trade. This is, the big question for the Jets now. They fired Robert Saleh. I believe they got rid of their offensive coordinator as well.
Hackett just doesn't call plays anymore. He's still there. He just doesn't call plays anymore.
Okay, so they were stripped him of play call ability. Still, that's pretty disrespectful. You lost your job, essentially. And now they brought in Devontae Adams. I think it's going to be a matter of how does he mesh into this offense. Aaron Rodgers already knows him, and he knows that he can trust him with the ball. But, you also have Alan Lazard. You also have Garrett Wilson. You have the targets. You have Brees Hall at running back. So you have these weapons. But the Steelers' defense is very good. And we cannot forget that TJ Watt exists in this world. So I think I'm going to take Pittsburgh to win this one. And TJ Watt is going to make Aaron Rodgers see ghosts.
Ghosts of his ankle, maybe. Anyways, Monday night NFL. Can you stop putting two games on Monday night for fuck's sake? We got two games. One is not a good one. The other one is going to be a really, really fun game. Which one do you want first? The not good game or the really good game?
Let's do the not good game. Let's save the good one for last.
All right. We got the Cardinals hosting the Chargers. The Chargers, a 2.5-point favorite in this one. Look, Cardinals, they just lost Marvin Harrison Jr. for a couple weeks due to a concussion. So, yeah, with that said, give me the Chargers to win and cover. I think the Chargers, they have been really surprising to me this year, honestly. They've looked really good. They looked really good in last week's game. And the offense can move the ball. Justin Herbert is that dude. And the receivers are being very, very productive this year. And don't forget, the Chargers can run the ball like hell. So yeah, give me the Chargers to win. Give me the Chargers to cover. I just don't think with the Cardinals without their number one wide receiver and yeah, their defense that smells pretty damn bad. I don't think they can come close to winning this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. The loss of Marvin Harrison Jr. for the Cardinals is big. I mean, he only had 17 receptions, but he had half of Kyler Murray's touchdowns. It's a big loss. And I mean, it's also a big loss not just because, you're losing half of your touchdown production if you're Kyler Murray. If you're Marvin Harrison Jr., you're losing, development in your rookie season to injury now. Granted, it's a concussion, but now you have to play the game of you have to watch out because you don't want to end up like Tua where you're getting a concussion, damn near every game and you're out. So you've gotten one now. It's a slippery slope, but he's out. I'm going to take Chargers in this one. I think they cover. It's only 2.5 points. So I think they can win this one by at least a field goal. Jim Harbaugh I hope he's better, but, presumably he's going to be back on the sideline. So I think the Chargers are going to end up winning this one and covering.
I mean, yeah, Jim Harbaugh, I guess it was something like he had just like a small little cardiac event, like it was just like a regular heartbeat, but still does not explain the changed pants. It still does not explain why he had a different pair of pants on when he came back to the game. So I'm still sticking with the theory that he shat himself. Anyways, the good game, the game that everyone will actually be watching on Monday night because the NFL is too stupid to only put one game on Monday night. We got the Bucks hosting the Ravens. The Ravens, a 3.5-point favorite in this game. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised the spread is this big because I think both these teams are very mirror-ish of each other. The Ravens have a really good offense. The Bucks have a really good offense. The Ravens have a pretty good defense. The Bucks have a pretty good defense. I think the edge goes to Baltimore on both offense and defense. But I think this is still going to be a close game. It is in Tampa, though, and I think that's going to help out the Bucks just a little bit. Give me the Bucks to pull off the win here over the Ravens. I really like the Bucks this year. I think the Ravens, while they have gotten a lot better since the start of the year, there's still some slight issues here. They haven't been the best road team either this year. So yeah, give me the Bucks to win here against a Ravens team that has struggled on the road so far this year.
Yeah, I'm with you here. I like the Bucks in this one just simply because the Ravens have not played the best on the road. Granted, they do have 2 wins on the road, but one of those is a 28-25 win against Dallas. And we just saw what Detroit did to Dallas. So, and Baltimore, we all saw what they did to Detroit last year. So there's, levels to this. But then their second away win, a 41-38 overtime win against Cincinnati, which was, a fumbled, hold away from being the other way in favor of Cincinnati. So they could realistically be 1-2 on the road this year. So I'm not very confident in how they're playing. I'm looking if Derrick Henry, I mean, he's going to have a good game because, he's Derrick Henry. He's playing out of his fucking mind right now. 6 games, he has 8 touchdowns, over 700 yards. He's playing very well right now, and that's exactly what Baltimore paid for him to do, so he's going to play very well. I mean, we saw what the Lions' run game was able to do. So Lamar Jackson, he is more mobile than Jared Goff, but because it's a home game for Tampa, they're very comfortable at home. I think I'm taking Tampa. It's a 3.5 spread point. I
Yeah,
don't know if they're going to cover that.
Well, it's 3.5 in favor of Baltimore. So if Tampa wins, they technically cover it.
That's fair, yeah.
So, yeah, with that said, that is your NFL preview. We're going to now roll on over to the college football top 25 matchups. We got 2 top 25 matchups tomorrow night. We got Purdue hosting number 2 Oregon. 28.5 point favorite in this game. Huge favorites over one of, if not the worst, Big Ten team. After coming off a win against a team that I still think is the best team in the Big Ten, which is Ohio State. I think Oregon obviously going to win. I think they're going to cover no problem. Purdue is just straight ass. Look, they let Notre Dame score 66 on them. Granted, they had a really, really good almost win last week against, I believe it was Illinois. If I'm not mistaken, let me just double check that. Anyway, it was Illinois. But Oregon is miles ahead of, Oregon. No, Oregon's miles ahead of Illinois. My bad. And yeah, so give me Oregon to win and cover.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to be said here. I mean, Vegas agrees 28.5 point favorites in favor of Oregon. I'm taking Oregon to win and cover. Purdue is a bottom feeder in the Big Ten, and they might be one of the worst teams in just college football in general. But yeah, they're coming off a win against Ohio State, so they're going to be riding high, and they want to continue this undefeated season. They don't want to be one of those teams that lose, one of these games against a lesser opponent, especially against Purdue. You don't want to look like Notre Dame losing to NIU, whose loss looks just worse and worse every week. So give me Oregon to win and cover.
BYU, number 13, hosts Oklahoma State. BYU, a 9-point favorite in this game. Look, I like BYU. They've kind of surprised me really, really well this year. If you would, again, I talked about this on Tuesday's episode. If you would have told me that BYU would be 6-0 to start the year, I would have laughed at you. But here we are. BYU, really, really good team. Really, really well coached. A lot of talented players on that team. Oklahoma State has struggled. They're now 3-3. They're no longer ranked. They started off the year pretty strong, and they've just kind of fallen off the face of the earth. I still think Oklahoma State is a good team. This is BYU at home, though. They've been one of the best home teams all year in college football. Give me BYU to win. Give me BYU to cover.
Yeah, this is the game where originally, I'm sure in our episode where we did the Big 12, we were like, yeah, Oklahoma State's probably going to win this one pretty handily.
I think you're absolutely right about that too.
Yeah, here we are eating our words, but yeah, 6-0 BYU is very weird to say. I'm very confident that they can win this one. I don't think they covered that 9-point spread though.
yeah, I really like BYU. They've played super, super well and super consistent this year, too. Number 22, Illinois hosts number 24, Michigan. Michigan, a surprising 3.5 point favorite in this game. Look, Illinois, they've kind of been exposed a little bit. I think they're a little bit overrated this year. Michigan shouldn't even be ranked, though. They are terrible. Now, Tuttle might turn things around. We don't know. I mean, Michigan was on a bye week after the loss to Washington 2 weeks ago. So, I want to take Illinois just because I hate my team right now. I love Michigan, but I fucking hate them right now. But I feel like with the way Illinois played last week against a very bad Purdue team and having to go to overtime to beat them just tells me that Illinois just isn't nearly as good as we thought they were. So I am going to take Michigan to win here. I do not think they cover. I think this game's probably going to go to overtime, and I'm also kind of debating on going since it's only a 2-hour drive from me. So I'm kind of debating on going to it. I'll have to see what the ticket prices are exactly. But anyways, I still like I like Illinois in this one, but I also kind of like Michigan just because Illinois hasn't inspired me a whole lot this year. So yeah, give me Michigan to win. They just don't cover.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Michigan wins this one, but it's interesting to see that the line opened at 1 point in favor of Michigan and has moved 2.5 points in Michigan's favor.
Oh, I did not know that. That changes everything for me. Give me Michigan to win and cover then.
Yeah, I think that Purdue game really made Vegas look at Illinois and was like, okay, Michigan is much better than Purdue. This Michigan team can play when they really want to. They just can't pass the ball, but they can run. But I'm gonna take Michigan to win this one. I'm with you. I think this game does go into overtime, but I don't think Michigan covers that 3.5.
We got Louisville next, hosting number 6 Miami. Miami just a 5 point favorite in this game. Give me Louisville to win. Look, Miami, they have needed the refs to bail them out of a lot of games this year against some pretty bad teams like Cal and Virginia Tech. Although I wouldn't say Virginia Tech's necessarily bad, but Cal definitely. And they need the refs to bail them out of that game in some fourth quarter magic. I think Louisville, much, much better team than both Virginia Tech and Cal, probably combined. And look, it's the Devil's number. Louisville at home. Miami hasn't played anyone at all this year, and they aren't going to play anyone at all this year. I think this might be the toughest matchup Miami will play this entire season. So I'm going to take Louisville to get the upset win here over Miami.
Yeah, I'm with you. Miami has been stumbling as of late, and I think this is the week where they get upset. I'm taking Louisville to win, and they cover.
Number 10, Clemson hosts Virginia. Clemson, a 20.5 point favorite over UVA. Virginia has been surprising me a little bit this year. They're 4-2 on the year so far. And you know, granted, they haven't played the toughest schedule either. I mean, they just barely lost to Louisville last week, and they did beat Boston College as well this year, but they did just barely beat Wake Forest as well this year. So not necessarily the greatest team, but surprisingly better record than I would have expected 6 weeks into the season, or 6 games in the season, I should say. Clemson, obviously, though, ever since that loss to Georgia has been elite. I mean, granted, they haven't played the greatest of opponents. I mean, they've definitely played better opponents than Miami, but they still haven't played the greatest, but their offense has just been steamrolling everyone. I think Clemson will win this game. I think Virginia's going to keep this close. So Clemson will win, just they don't cover that 20.5.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think Clemson will cover that 20.5. I don't think they win this game by 3 scores, much less two. So I think I'm going to take Clemson to win this one, but they don't cover it all.
Oh, shit, my bad. Number 16, Indiana hosts Nebraska. Indiana, a 6.5-point favorite in this game. Look, I've said it basically for the last 4 or 5 weeks now. Indiana has not played anyone. I mean, their best win is a Maryland team that lost to dog shit MSU. That is Indiana's best win. That's the only team over 500 Indiana has beaten this year. All the other teams they've beaten are, UCLA, FIU, fucking some other school for the blind and another school for the poor. I mean, that is who Indiana has played. Nebraska has played a couple real opponents, and Dominic Raiola is still a very, very good quarterback. Obviously, Nebraska had that tough loss to Illinois, I believe it was, earlier this season. Let me double check that real quick. Yes, the overtime loss to Illinois at home. I think Nebraska will win this game. I think Indiana is going to get a really nice awakening, playing a team that actually has a fucking pulse. So yeah, give me Nebraska to win this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. This Indiana team has not played pretty much anyone. I mean, they've played 3 Big Ten opponents, and they were UCLA, Maryland, and Northwestern. And like you said, Maryland also lost to Michigan State, so that's not really telling me anything. So give me Nebraska to win.
Number 19, Missouri hosts Auburn. Mizzou, a 4-point favorite in this game. Look, it was a get-right game for Mizzou this last weekend. And I think it is kind of just another get-right game against Auburn. Now, Auburn, obviously, a much, much, much better team than whoever the fuck Missouri just played this last weekend. I think it was UMass. Auburn, though, they do have Peyton Thorne at quarterback. So, he's always good for a pick or two in this game. I like Mizzou in this game. I think they win. I do think they cover. But I think Auburn's going to keep this one within a score at least.
Yeah, I'm with you. Mizzou had their get-right game. This is another one. So, I think, like you said, you have Peyton Thorne at quarterback. He's good for a pick or two. I do think Mizzou wins this one, and they cover. But like you said, Auburn keeps it within 7.
Number 23, Army hosts East Carolina. Army, a 16-point favorite in this game. Army is one of the 2 teams left this year in college football that has never trailed once in a game. The other team being Indiana, but again, Indiana has played the school for the poor, the school for the blind 6 times now this year. Army has just been absolutely dump trucking opponents this year. They've played some pretty good teams within their conference. East Carolina, they're not a really good team this year. I think they're a better team than last year, but that's not saying much. Give me Army to win and cover this one. I mean, they are absolutely dump trucking people this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's very weird to see both Army and Navy ranked. But I'm with you. Army has been absolutely rolling. And I mean, normally we say that about, them out in the field, not, the football field. But yeah, give me Army to win and cover.
Number 11. Hold on. Oh, that joke took a second to hit me, man. That was good. That was good. Number 11, Tennessee hosts number 7, Bama. Bama, just a 3-point favorite in this game. Look, Tennessee has not looked right in the last couple weeks, especially that loss against Arkansas. and then just barely winning against Florida last week in overtime. Bama, obviously, the loss to Vanderbilt hurt, but I still think they're a good team. Give me Bama to win and cover this one. I think Tennessee has really gotten exposed, and they just are not playing right anymore.
Yeah, I agree. This is going to be Bama's bounce back, right? I mean, they barely beat South Carolina. This is going to be another win where they cement themselves as, they beat another ranked SEC opponent. Just further, proving that, yeah, hey, Kalen and Bohr can kind of hang here in the SEC. But this is going to be a close win. It's, I think, I I can see Tennessee winning this one, but the spread hasn't moved at all. Started at 3 points to Alabama, stayed at 3 points to Bama. Give me Alabama to win. I think they cover, but I wouldn't be shocked to see if they don't cover or Tennessee wins.
Uh, Georgia Tech hosts number 12 Notre Dame. Notre Dame, a 9.5 point favorite in this game. Look, Georgia Tech has been really, really good this year. They're 5-2 on the year. They're just one win away from bowl eligibility, and I think they will definitely get that. They have fallen off though since the very hot start to the year, on both sides of the ball. Notre Dame though, they're good. I think they have gotten better. Obviously, last week was a really, really, really nice performance from them. I think Georgia Tech is going to play this one close. I think Notre Dame will win. I just don't think they will cover. I think this is going to be a pretty high-scoring game, but it's still going to stay within a score here. But give me Notre Dame to win. Just give me Georgia Tech to cover.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I mean, I'm still not very confident with this Notre Dame offense, despite, the game they had last week, and Riley Leonard actually looked halfway decent. But I'm just not confident in them, being able to score points consistently. So I'm going to take Notre Dame to win this one, but it's going to be a close game, and Georgia Tech will cover.
Number 25, Navy hosts Charlotte. Navy, a 16-point favorite in this game. And like Army, they are dump trucking people every single week. They have not led in a couple of their games, but not for very, very long. I believe they're top 10 in not leading or like minutes of games not leading. So they're obviously just killing people. Charlotte, a 3-3 team, underperforming, I think, a little bit. But like I said, Navy absolutely just butt fucking every single fucking team that they played, just like Army. Give me Navy to win. Give me Navy to cover.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we were talking about Army. It's weird to see both of these teams undefeated and ranked and double-digit favorites. I will also take Navy to win and cover.
Mississippi State hosts number 14 Texas A&M. Texas A&M, a 18-point favorite in this game. Look, Mississippi State was pretty close with Georgia. I mean, they only lost by 10 points in that game, and Georgia's a hell of a lot better than Texas A&M is. That said, I think Texas A&M will win. I just don't think they're going to cover. If Mississippi State can go on the road in Georgia and hang in within 10 points, I think Mississippi State at home will definitely keep Texas A&M pretty close. A Texas A&M team that I think is really, really overrated this year. So yeah, give me Texas A&M to win. I just don't think they're going to come close to covering that 18.
Yeah, I'm with you. Mississippi State, they might be 1-5, but like you said, they went to Georgia and they played a pretty good game. So give me Texas A&M to win this game. But I think Mississippi State will cover it.
Arkansas hosts number 8 LSU. LSU, a 2.5-point favorite in this game. Look, Arkansas has been really, really good this year. They're 4-2 on the year. They upset a good Tennessee team on the road, um, and they've just been playing very very good ball. LSU, while they are good, I don't think they're great. They did have a nice win against Ole Miss last week. I think this one's going to stay close. I'm going to take Arkansas to get the upset win here over LSU. It's at home for them. They were able to hold, Tennessee's great offense to just 14 points. So yeah, give me Arkansas to get the upset win here over LSU.
Yeah, I'm with you. I am also going to take Arkansas to get the upset win. I mean, they lost by 4 points to Texas A&M. They they beat Tennessee by 5. This is a very capable Arkansas team, and they can very well not compete for the SEC at the end of the day, but they might be able to, if they win out the rest of the year or have one loss, they might be able to steal a playoff spot if playoff teams keep losing. Now, granted, they do have Texas later on, so I think they'll lose that game. But like I said, if they have Ole Miss, they have Missouri on the schedule, those are two potential playoff teams. You beat LSU here, you beat Ole Miss, and you beat Missouri later on in the year. Arkansas could be staring down a playoff spot depending on, how the rest of, you know, the teams shape out and if they keep losing games here and there. But yeah, I like Arkansas in this game. They are at home. They've been playing very well. I think they're confident enough to just steal one here against another ranked SEC team.
Number 1, Texas hosts number 5, Georgia. Texas, a 5-point favorite over Georgia. You know how I feel about the 5-point spread. Is the devil's number. Man, I'm still gonna take Texas to win. I think they also cover, but it ain't gonna be a whole lot more. I think Georgia's gonna play this one close. Uh, but it's Texas at home. This is the first real SEC test for Texas this year. So yeah, give me Texas to win and cover.
I I'm excited for this one. This was the game of the week that I was like, "Yep, I gotta watch this one out of any of them." And it's gonna be a tough one. The odds opened at 3.5 points in favor of Texas, and they've shifted a point and a half even further in Texas's favor. I'm gonna take Texas in this one. Georgia did lose to Alabama, and I think Texas is a better team than Alabama. This is gonna be a very close game. It's 5 points to cover. I think Texas is capable of winning this one by a score. I don't think they win this one by more than a field goal, though. So I'm taking Texas, but they don't cover.
Number 9, Iowa State hosts UCF. Iowa State, a 13.5-point favorite in this one. UCF has been struggling this year. They really have. Iowa State, I mean, they beat you on the ground. They beat you in the air. It does not matter. They're going to fucking beat you, and they're going to beat you pretty damn well. UCF, they've been struggling, like I said. Give me Iowa State to win. Give me Iowa State to cover.
Yeah, I mean, who would have guessed a team from Iowa would be a top 10 team right now? Not me, but Iowa State right now, they're rolling. And they're coming off a pretty good win at West Virginia, who's been playing some pretty decent ball this year. And I think UCF, who has been serviceable, they're 3-3, but they're 1-2 in the Big 12, so they've been having a rough time in the Big 12. I think they're gonna go to 1-3 this week in the Big 12. Give me Iowa State to win and cover.
West Virginia hosts number 17 Kansas State. Kansas State, a 2.5-point favorite in this one. Look, I was high on Kansas State to start the year. I thought they're definitely Big 12 favorites coming into it, but they've just been kind of shaky this year, and obviously they got blown out by BYU earlier this year. like you just said, West Virginia has been playing some pretty good ball. They are 3-3, but they've played a lot of close games, and I think they are playing pretty damn good. I think Kansas State will win this game. They're going to barely cover that 2.5. I think, yeah, Kansas State will probably win this by a field goal. So, yeah, give me Kansas State to win and cover then.
I'm taking West Virginia to win. I think West Virginia is going to pull off this upset. Like, Kansas State has been pretty shaky since BYU. I mean, they beat Oklahoma State 42-20, but they just beat Colorado by 3 points. And we all know I'm not very high on Colorado. You're not very high on Colorado.
No, I fucking hate Colorado.
But they're a 4-2 team in Colorado now. They haven't been ranked. I don't think they've been ranked all year. They are okay, but I think West Virginia has been playing these opponents very well. And I mean, they played a very good Iowa State team to the teeth pretty much. And they lost, but they didn't lose in a blowout. So I think they're capable of getting this upset, especially since it's at home.
And then lastly, some great ACC play here. Stanford hosting number 21 SMU. I can't. I just fucking can't. I fucking can't. SMU and Stanford in the ACC just does not make sense. Anyways, SMU, a 16.5-point favorite in this one. SMU, they've been playing pretty damn well this year, especially in the ACC. Their only loss, let me look here real quick. Their only loss being to BYU, and BYU only barely beat them 18-15. Stanford blows ass. So, yeah, give me SMU to win and cover.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's a weird ACC game, having Stanford, who's a West Coast team, and Texas team in SMU. But I'm going to take SMU to win this one, and they cover.
Yeah, I can't stand Stanford, one being in the ACC, but also they just suck ass. They just straight up suck ass. So, yeah. With that said, guys, that is going to do it for us today. Next week, we're only going to have one episode on Tuesday, and that's because Ian and I are both actually going on vacation next week, and so we'll be out of town on Thursday. So, going to be a very, very long episode. I might actually end up breaking it up into two different episodes for us, just because we will be gone. But anyways, guys, rate, review, subscribe, help us out. Let us know what you guys want to see more of. Of course, keep sharing the podcast. Let's keep getting this thing, going and growing. Follow us on Twitter at the Andrew and Ian Show. Check out our YouTube page, of course. And yeah, thank you guys again so much for listening. And we will see you guys on Tuesday.